clock walkthrough of EBS, Elastic Block Storage. First of all, it is not a service that you can find to instantiate like you would for S3 or Elastic File Storage. And so, for instance, if you do EBS, it's not listed. Or find, view all services, look for EBS, it's not found. If you look for S3, then you can find it. And so EBS is not something that you just instantiate on its own. Then how do you instantiate it? Well, you use EC2. So here's, we can launch an instance, and before it really launches, we get to name it. Let's just call it AC EC22. And I wanted to boot off of Amazon's version of Linux. And then network settings, and this is where the information about storage, and so which is called volumes. And so Elastic Block Store, which is a volume, which is like a concept of a disk, and disk is a volume that you mount. And so you can pick the different types. We can pick size. We can pick either solid state drives all the way to HDD down to magnetic, which is interesting. This is the important part. So when you create the EC2, it will also spin up this EBS. And when you kill the EC2, terminate the EC2, if you have this by default on termination, it says yes. And so the volume will be deleted. And so all the information you will have on it will be deleted. So you want to flick this to no if you want that volume to persist. And we get 30 gigabytes of EBS for tiered storage. Okay, and so terminate, and that is key for how you create an EBS. And so let's just launch instance. And if we take a look at that, launch instance, click on this. If you scroll down and pick storage, you can see here's the volume, the size of it, and delete on termination, no. All right, so in conclusion, for you to create a instance of EBS, you don't do it through the normal instantiation method. Rather, you go through EC2 and create it in that fashion. You can by default it will delete the EBS volume, but you can enable it to not delete.